All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into creating our reverse foot IK system. I'm going to go start off by making a couple of controllers for the feet. I'm actually going to go ahead and do I'm going to go ahead and do a custom controller for each of the feet, each of the feet, and then start from there. So I'm going to go ahead and make this circle and just move it over here. And now let's go ahead and grab the control vertices. And I'm just going to kind of pull them back. And I'm just mimicking the dinosaur shape of the foot. Kind of looks a bit like a duck foot, I suppose. So something kind of like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this maybe a little bit more forward. And I think that'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. Let's go under curves, rebuild curves. And let's do number of spans. Let's do 12 and tell it to rebuild. So kind of like with the other with the ribbon spine, rebuilding just kind of rebuilds the actual surface. So we're getting more points that we can kind of play around with and make it just look a little bit more interesting. Okay, that'll work. All right, another fun thing we can do is if I go under, let's see, controller one, display, trying to find where the color overrides are. Outline color, that's not it. We can actually change the colors under drawing overrides. I'm going to change the color to something nice. So we'll do green. We'll name this left foot, left foot con. Let's change that to foot. Okay. All right. You see here it's got to translate on the X and Z. So we need to go ahead and modify freeze transformations. I'm also going to go to edit, delete by type, history. I'm not doing delete all by type because we actually do want history on some things. With rigging, we want to keep our histories, like say for constraints and skin clusters and stuff like that. So we want to keep those. So once we get into the rigging process, um, unless it's like a mesh that we're cleaning up, we don't want to delete everything on it. Okay. So let's go ahead and actually set up the attributes for the foot, and then when we mirror it over, or basically duplicate over the foot controller, we don't have to recreate them. So let's go ahead and do, let's do edit, add attribute, and we're gonna give it a name, and we're gonna give it a minimum value of 0, and then it's going to be a float value. So what that means is just going to float between minimum and maximum values. Actually, to be honest, we need to be able to do negative values if we want to. So I'm going to leave minimum and maximum turned off. Default is going to be set to 0. And let's go ahead and grab that list of attributes that we actually need. So I'm going to pause this real quick and grab that. All right, got it right here. I'm going to start off with heel. Click add. Foot drop. And the order actually doesn't matter. You can put it in a different order if you want to. Heel pivot. Toe tap. Sig stomp. Inner roll. Outer roll. Tippy toe. Okay, so we got heel peel, foot drop, heel pivot, toe tap, sig stomp, inner roll, outer roll, and tippy toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that will work. And that's what I want. All right, so I need to mirror this over to the other foot. So what I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm going to take this foot controller. I'm going to hit Control G to group it to itself. So that what that's doing is that's placing the origin point here in the center of the world. Okay. So then I can go to Edit, Duplicate Special, and I want to tell it to basically mirror over to the other side. I do that by telling it to do a negative scale. So let's reset our settings. I'm going to do a negative scale across the mirror axis. So for us, that's going to be from left to right. That's going to be negative direction for X, from left to right, since that's the two directions I need to work in. And so you'll see translate, rotate, and scale. X, Y, and Z is what these three values stand for. So a scale of 1, if I change it to -1 and hit apply, you'll see that I now have a foot controller that's on the other side. Okay, and that's what I'm looking for. All right, left foot con, I'm going to change that to right foot con, and then left foot con is still left foot con. Okay. I'm actually going to take both of these, take them out, delete their groups. All right, so I need to actually freeze transforms on this right foot con. Freeze transformation. Okay, there we go. All righty. And that's how we set up our foot controllers. Let's go ahead and do our knee controllers. I usually like to do a arrow. So let me do an arrow, single arrow. Let's rotate it 180. And then that's going to be 90. Okay. Move it forward. So we're lining it up with the knee, and then we're just moving this forward in front of the knee. Okay. So I want to go ahead and do modify freeze transformations, Control G, and grouping it to itself, duplicate special, and now have a second arrow. Shift P. I'm unparenting them, freezing their transformations again, delete the extra groups. So I'm going to name this left knee con, right knee con. Okay. There we go. And these are actually the main controllers for the feet. We are going to be doing some toe controllers. So let's go ahead and actually get those in. Why not? Let's just go ahead and get those. So for those, what would be useful? No, I don't like that one. The nail one actually is kind of nice. Kind of works well. I'm going to use this one. I like this one because it has the pivot point right on the tip, and it's actually quite useful. Just go and scale it down. That should be fine. Scale it down a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and freeze transformations. We'll name it like left toe con. Okay. And I'm going to do basically the offset groups. So we talked about like when I was doing the tail controllers, because the toes kind of point out at different directions. So we want to make sure that the controllers are also pointing down essentially the joints for each one of these toes. Okay. I'm going to hit G to group it to itself and name that toe con offset group. All right. Let's go ahead and again with that group selected, I am basically going to now go ahead and start duplicating the controllers and moving them into position. And I don't really need one for the tip because it doesn't really control anything. Now you want to make sure, again, you're doing the groups. You're not actually grabbing the controllers, okay? And what I'm doing, I'm kind of just trying to line up the axes of the joint with the axis of the controller. Just trying to get the planes to match up a little bit. And I'm not doing this by grabbing the controllers. I'm just grabbing the offset groups. Okay. Again, just making that clear. That seems to be something a lot of people get hung up on is they want to grab the controllers, which I totally get. That's the thing that's visible. You don't see the groups, but you need to make sure you're grabbing the offset groups. Okay. Okay, just turning on the mesh, see how everything looks. Looks really good. Okay. Let's turn off that mesh. It's easier to snap when I'm doing that. Okay. Let's turn the mesh back on. So it's going to be kind of like right here. And I always say you want to line it up with the joint, but you also want to look at the actual digit that you're lining it up with, and you want to make sure it makes sense. Because like if I want to spread that Duclaw, I want to be able to just grab like one axis to do it, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. Let's grab them all. They're all kind of, see how they're kind of intersecting each other? Let's just kind of shrink them down a little bit. And that looks much better. All right. Child's okay. Don't worry about it. All right. So we're going to do, so we're going to start naming these. Honestly, all of these. Let's use our tools at our disposal. So I'm going to do modify, search, and replace. And I'm going to look for the word toe. I'm going to replace it with left toe. Replace. So it's going to rename all of these to be left. Okay. And apparently it's giving me left. So let's go ahead and just rename these. So left, middle toe, con 1. We'll just give it numbers. Or you could do base, or you could do tip. I think actually let's do base. Con base. Left middle, toe con mid. Left middle toe con tip. Okay. Middle base. Middle mid. Middle tip. Okay. Middle outer base. Outer toe con base. So we're giving these similar names, but we're making sure naming groups, we're naming controllers. So this would be left, middle, or left, toe, con, outer, mid. Toe, mid. Left toe. tip. Okay. Again, nice thing is at least we can do this to, if we do it right this way, then we don't have to redo any of this once we're over on the other side. Left toe con, inner base, inner toe con, base, inner mid, inner mid, inner tip, inner toe con, tip. Let's see, do claw base, do claw base, do claw tip, and I'm saying tip because this is the last one in the series. Do claw tip. Forgot left. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and chain these all up. So dew claw is going to go under base dew claw. Okay, inner, that one's going to go under mid. That's going to go under base. Tip goes under mid. Mid goes under base. Remember, we are including the offset groups, and we're not taking controllers out of the offset groups. Okay. Tip goes under mid goes under base. So group to controller, group to controller, group to controller. Okay. Okay. Then all of this, I'm going to group it to itself. I'm going to call it toe controls. All right. This might change. Toe. Left toe controls. Especially with the dew claw. It's going to be experimental to see how that one works. But essentially, all of this, these toe controls are going to go under the foot controller. So I'm going to go ahead and do a edit, duplicate special. That's going to plop them right over there. And we're going to do a modify, search and replace. Search for left, replace with right. Why didn't that work? Search and replace. Oh, because I misspelled left. I had a capital E. Left, replace with right. There we go. So for now, let's go ahead and take left toe controls. Really, controls? Oh, come on. Controls. let's go and put, again, for now, until we figure out what to do with the div wall, I want to put right toe control under right foot con, and left toe controls are going to go under left foot con. Now, this makes sense because we want that to move around, right? Yes, yes, yes. All right, cool. We want that to flex and everything. Click on your controllers. We need to make sure that they have blank translations and rotations. If they don't, then we have a problem. We also want to be able to grab, let's say, all of the toe ones and rotate them so that they follow along. All right. Let's go and save it. And we'll go and take a break for a second.